Hello, everybody. Welcome to our press conference on air traffic control. I want to first start off by talking about how historic this day is. The fact that the FAA is going to undertake an initiative that has never been done before. The fact that today we have 55 different groups that are here with us. Groups that might not always agree on every issue, but on this issue, they're here together with one voice supporting what we are going to roll out today. We have industry, unions, political leaders. We have the CEOs of major airlines here today. Most importantly, we have some of the family members of the victims of the DCA air crash, all here supporting this effort. Now, when I first got this job back in November, the president called me. And if you know anything about the president, he loves the airspace and he loves airplanes. And when he called to give me the job, he said, we are going to fix American airspace and our air traffic control system. He knew in November that this job had to be done. And as we look back, a lot of people in industry and leaders have said, this problem is too complicated. This problem is way too expensive. And to redo air traffic control is way too hard. We can't get it done. But we are blessed to have a president who actually loves to build and knows how to build. President Trump understands the problem, and he wants to fix the problem. He doesn't want to take this problem and pass it to the next administration, to the next secretary, to a next set of victims who could lose their life in an air traffic incident. We're going to fix it today. And so I would just tell you what we're doing today could not have happened but for the visionary leadership of President Donald J. Trump. Now, I asked him to come over today, and he wanted to come. However, it's kind of complicated to move with his kind of security. And so he said, I can't make it, but I would love to join all of you on the phone and address this group as we undertake this conversation. So with that, we do have the White House on the line. And Mr. President, we're merging in POTUS now. As we prepped this, it was a lot more seamless than what's happening now. Mr. President, I'm here with 200 or so people. If I could put you on speakerphone. All right, Mr. President, you're on speakerphone.
Hello, everybody. It's a great honor. Great honor. And I'm sorry what you're going through with the terminals, but we're going to get them fixed up, and I imagine Sean's been telling you that. And I was going to do that in my first month of my second term, but my second term got delayed 4 years, unbelievably. So it would have been done. And probably, Sean, have you been discussing what happened, what took place, how they spent billions of dollars, many billions, tens of billions of dollars to fix a system that was old and broken, and hooking it up to satellite when a lot of it isn't satellite, and that doesn't work. And you guys have to suffer because of it, but we're going to do the right job. So where are you on that, Sean?
So, Mr. President, you can't front run me here. I haven't announced the plan yet to everybody, though you know what it is. We're going to lay out the plan that you and I discussed in the Oval Office as we go through this press conference.
Good. Well, we are, and we're going to do a great system. And I just want to thank you all, and I want to thank the Secretary. He's fantastic. He was a great politician, a great congressman, very popular, and very smart. And he's running the Department of Transportation now, and he's going to do a fantastic job. I also want to recognize some of the family members whose loved ones perished in the Reagan National Airport collision. What a horrible thing that was. Earlier this year, if they had a system in there, we wouldn't have had a problem. But the people have devoted themselves to making the skies safer, and we're going to make them totally safe. And today, also, I'm thrilled to announce the complete rebuilding and modernization of America's air traffic control system. And that's what we're that's what we're doing, and we're going to make it the best. And we'd also like to have, Sean and I, some recommendations as to who the best would be. Where do you, when you people do it for a living, when you land and when your planes come in, who do you think has the best system? Which company does the best system? We'd like to give out one big, beautiful contract where it's, they're responsible for everything from digging ditches to the most sophisticated stuff. And if you have any ideas as to who makes the best system, we'd love to have it. But after decades of originally, and we're talking about a long time ago, reliable service, air traffic control is long overdue for not an overhaul, really, for a remaking. It's got to be brought up to a modern standard. And when my pilots landed before, now I have wonderful pilots from the military, great pilots. We have it a little different, but they used to use systems from other countries to land. If I was landing in New York or something, they'd be using a different system to land in New York because our system's so obsolete in this country. So the ancient infrastructure, it's buckling under the weight of more than 1 billion flying passengers a year and supporting hundreds of billions of dollars. And Pete Buttigieg, who was the Secretary of Transportation, had no clue what the problem was. He had no clue, zero. But he wants to run for president. I don't think he's going to do too well. The federal government now pays $250 million annually just to keep up the old equipment, keep it running. And I guess you're having a big problem in Newark. That seems to be the one of the moment, the flavor of the moment. The equipment on most airplanes in the sky is now generations ahead of the ground systems. And recently, and you've seen this, the controllers lost contact with planes for 30 critical seconds at Newark. And that was something that was not a good situation. But they lost them, and something like that just doesn't happen. So while we're confident that the system remains extremely safe and the passengers are, we're going to take good care of everybody, a complete modernization is going to soon be taking place. We're going to be going all brand new, all with the best company. We're negotiating with the various companies now. That's why we'd like your recommendation. We're beginning the process of fully replacing the technology at more than 4,600 air traffic control sites. That's a lot. And building 6 new state-of-the-art air traffic control coordination centers, which is the top. That's the tippy top of what you do. And it's the first time that there's been anything like this since the 1960s. We have a lot of equipment that's from the 1960s, if you can believe it, and it doesn't even mesh with the plane. So we'll be purchasing 25,000 new radios and replacing hundreds of old radars. The radar systems are old and broken. And we'll install 4,000 new high-speed network connections using fiber optic cables, satellites, and wireless technologies. And we'll also install 174 new weather stations in Alaska. Alaska's prime time. So these actions will bring American air traffic control into the highest level of anybody, any country, anywhere in the world, the highest in the 21st century. And thanks to my executive order earlier this year, which I gave to Sean and everybody, which is all over and which was well publicized, we'll make sure that the men and women who operate these systems are hired and promoted based on merit. And, I won in the Supreme Court. It's merit now. We have to go by merit, especially these jobs are unbelievably complex. If you're not great at mathematics, physics, and about 15 other things, you can never be a great controller. It's a very, very talented position. And we're going to have the best systems anywhere in the world. We already have some tremendous qualified people. We're going to be hiring, as you know, thousands of more. And I just want to extend again my love and regards for the people that such a tragic event took place, and for the people that had to suffer through that event. And with that, I could, if you have any questions, I would do that. If you want to do that, Sean, or I could let you take it over from here.
Mr. President, we're not set up. I'm up here on the podium. The press is way in back. But listen, I want to thank you for your support of all the work that's gone into this initiative. It wouldn't happen without you and your leadership. So thank you for that, and thank you for taking your time out of this busy schedule to partake in what is this historic announcement that you've led. Thank you, Mr. President.
Well, thank you very much, everybody, and I'll see you soon. And any complaints, you let me know. But thank you. Thank you very much. You do a great job. Thank you very much. Bye.
All right, you got a little sneak peek of what we're going to talk about. But if I could, I want to quickly talk about where we're at. Right, we've had years of neglect, decades of neglect. It's been a patchwork of fixes, partial funding, and you can blame me for that. I was in Congress during part of this as well. But the plan to do a brand new redo of air traffic control has never existed. And so what we use today is copper wires. We are one of the last businesses that actually use copper wires. The president mentioned we spend $250 million a year. I think it's $250 to $400,000 on obsolescence fees. Just wasting money because our system is so old and no one else uses it anymore. We should be using fiber, but it's copper. We use radar from the 1970s. Some of them are from the 80s, but most of them are from the 70s. So this technology is 50 years old that our controllers use to scan the skies and keep airplanes separated from one another. And it's important to recognize what you have and what you need. And so you look at how this functions. I think Newark has been a great example of when this old infrastructure goes down. And what happened in Newark is the main communication line went down. We do have redundancies. The backup line didn't fire. And so we had that 30 to 90 seconds of a blackout, which is frightening. And if we don't actually accomplish the mission that we're announcing today, you will see Newark's, not just in Newark, you'll see Newark's in other parts of the country because it's an aging system. And so we have to actually upgrade it. Now, if you might take a look at the stage here, we have a number of different, you might call them systems. I didn't, by the way, get this off the set of Apollo 13 or War Games. Remember those movies? You might think that I went to the Smithsonian and pulled them out of the Smithsonian to show you what they used to use for air traffic control. I didn't do any of that. This is actually the systems that our air traffic controllers use to keep our skies safe. It is old. It looks like it's out of the 70s and 80s. And if you're an you're 22 years old, you're 25 years old, and you're used to the highest technology at your fingertips, and we say, come be an air traffic controller, this is the system that you get to use. They say, no, thank you. Why do I want to work on 50-year-old equipment? We give them the best equipment. We're going to have more young men and women who want to sign up and become air traffic controllers because they're going to use state-of-the-art equipment as they do their jobs. And so I want to talk about, and the president mentioned this as well, but what we want to do. And before I do that, I want to tell you why we're here. And we have a few of the family members from the victims of the DCA air crash. And my heart goes out to them. And I think if you learn anything from what's happened, it's that if there are foreseeable issues in the airspace, you would expect someone to take action to make sure we save lives. And after DCA, I committed, I was going to look over the horizon and see what issues we do have and how we can fix them to make sure we don't have more families that go through what the DCA families have gone through. This is a way to honor, this is a way to respect, this is a way to pay it forward and to do the right thing to keep our families and our community safe when they use our airspace. And so what we're going to do, so we're going to rebuild some towers, we're going to rebuild some TRACONs, we're going to rebuild some centers. Not all of them, but we're going to rebuild a few of them that need to be rebuilt. So there'll be some bricks and mortar to this plan. However, everything else, this is really easy, everything else that controls the airspace is going to be brand new. So we're going to have new telecom, new fiber throughout the system. We're going to have brand new radios in our towers to communicate between air traffic controllers and with airplanes. We are going to have a ground radar sensors, we'll have new radar for the ground and new sensors on our tarmacs and at our airports. So our air traffic controllers who are in the tower are looking out with binoculars to see airplanes. If it's cloudy or rainy, the weather's bad, it becomes very challenging. We want to have all the tools so they can see where aircraft are at the airport on their screens, on their terminals. We hear a lot of these bumps, these scrapes that are happening at airports. We want to make sure air traffic controllers have the tools to keep airplanes separated, and we want to allow them to see that through their panels and screens. We're going to have a new flight management system that's going to bring efficiency to the airspace. So more people are flying, more planes are in the air now than ever. We're going to add eVTOLs. These are the Ubers in the air, the drones with people in them, as well as drones themselves into the airspace. It's going to become more complicated. This is going to allow us to better manage the airspace, to allow the airlines to better manage their flights. So when you take off, you actually fly and you land. You don't circle airports. You're going to take off and you're going to fly directly. This system will allow that efficiency to take place in the airspace. So in essence, all the front-facing equipment for controllers, all the back-end systems for controllers, all brand new. All new hardware, all new software is going to be built into this brand new air traffic control system. And some of you might say, well, how are you going to do that in any reasonable amount of time? I've told you we're going to do this in 3 or 4 years. Well, I can't just announce it to you and say it's going to happen in 3 to 4 years. I need help. I can't do it by myself. And it's going to take the help of the Congress to make that happen. Part of them are here today. So to do it in 3 or 4 years, we need all of the money up front, right? One of the problems of the past is when you give small tranches of money year over year, politics change, leadership changes, presidents change, interest changes, and it never gets built. So I'm going to ask the Congress for upfront appropriations to give us all the money. I'll come before the Congress every quarter and give them an update of how far we've built, how much money we've spent. They can pressure test what's been done to do the oversight to make sure we're doing this correctly. But on top of that, we also need permitting reform. Some form of clearing the deck so we don't have to deal with all of the regulation around permitting so we can actually build this quickly. If we go through the permitting process and don't get the money, this is going to be the same old thing. It's going to take us 10, 15 years to build this. And by the time we get done with it, what we're going to build is already going to be old technology. So we want to build this in 3 to 4 years, and we can do it with the help of Congress. And the last point that I want to bring up to you is, we all know what most of us know what a flip phone is. We have this system as a flip phone, right? It is what it is. You can't build anything on top of the system that we now use. It's so old. So you can't upgrade it. You can't add to it. New technology comes out and you can't deploy it. Technology that's going to make us more efficient and safer can't be deployed on what we have in America. However, if we build a brand new state-of-the-art system, which is what we want to do, then, like your iPhone, you can actually get updates. You can build on top of what we are going to have in place. So as new technology becomes available, we can actually deploy it. And we're going to build upon the safety, build on the technology, build on innovation that's going to happen in this country to continue to make airspace safer and more efficient. And so this is bold. This is going to be challenging, but we absolutely can do it. I think our country, our people, those who use the airspace, they deserve this moment in time to actually deliver an air traffic control system that's going to keep them safe, that's not going to have them delayed for 4 hours or their flights canceled, a system that works for them. I'm committed to it. The President's committed to it. I think the Congress is going to be committed to it. And so with that, what I'd like to do is, there's been a lot of individuals who have participated in making this happen. And one of the key players who have helped this vision of what we're announcing today is the acting administrator of the FAA, Chris Rushlow, which I don't know where Chris is at. Oh, there's Mr. Rushlow right there. So come on up, Chris. This guy has been remarkable in navigating the issues that have come up over the last 3 months and has been a great partner. Chris Rushlow.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Like you, I just want to take a moment to say thank you to the families of the American Airlines Flight 5342 families that are here today. It's your voices and your advocacy that will continue to drive us to make the system better. So thank you for being here today. So let me start by saying today marks a major milestone in aviation for America. It's a day that will bring the strength of this community, this aviation community, together with the strong leadership of President Trump and Secretary Duffy. This is a moment that's defined by unity and resolve. We're all here today to commit to taking bold steps to build a new world-class air traffic system that is safer, more efficient, more resilient, and better prepared to meet the needs of the future. We all know we're facing challenges in our nation's air traffic control system today. But let me be clear, that didn't happen overnight. But it's long past the time where we need to fix this problem. And that's why I truly appreciate the Secretary's decisive actions that reflect a commitment to innovation, to efficiency, and most importantly, a safe and reliable aviation system. At the FAA, the safety of the traveling public and the people that work within that system remain the highest focus for us. While air travel remains the safest form of transportation, unless we take bold action now, we will continue to see delays and disruptions. Fortunately, President Trump and Secretary Duffy have made this issue a national priority. Their focus is propelling us to move forward with an urgency that this effort requires. We're not just planning for the future, we're actually building it. So today, I believe it's fair to say we're choosing action over inertia, partnership over division, and vision over indecision. Together, as an aviation community, we will deliver the air traffic system that America deserves. Thank you.
You know, as we do this, it's a multifaceted approach. It's the President, it's us at DOT, the FAA, but Congress is a key part of this. And, you know, this is not partisan. There's a lot of things that Congress fights about, that they disagree on. We can all watch that on C-SPAN or on cable news. But this is an issue that they truly work together on. And what I'd like to do is bring up two that we have with us today, Congressman Rick Larsen, the ranking member of the committee, and Sam Graves, also the chairman of the committee. And I'd also like to bring up Jennifer Hamady from the NTSB to join us as well. And I know we also had Jerry Moran from Kansas, who was here earlier, and I appreciate his presence, but I don't know that he can speak. And so maybe what we could do is, by the way, no one in Congress knows aviation better than these two, and they might fight on committee hearings and whatnot, but they actually get along pretty well, and they've been great partners as we've gone through this process. So I'm going to turn it over to Chairman Sam Graves.
I want to offer my thanks to the DCA families for being here and taking the time to come. And I wish Senator Cantwell and Senator Moran and Senator Cruz could be here. They're in the middle of a vote series, and which is obviously what they have to do. But you've got the two most important members of Congress in transportation right here, and Rick and I, when it comes to getting things done. But Sean, I got to thank you, Mr. Secretary. Your work and your strong commitment to this process is absolutely, it's absolutely outstanding. You know, we've known for decades that the air traffic control system is outdated, and Congress has passed a lot of laws to help the FAA try to get this done, and we're nowhere even remotely close to what the end goal is. And so I can honestly say, in all my years in Congress, I've never seen a secretary or a president so committed to getting this done, which means it's going to happen. And so the House of Representatives, at least the Transportation Committee, in our budget process, the bill that we passed last week, we put a down payment in on this for $12.5 billion to do all of those things that Sean was just talking about. I think we will see that through to the end, and we will start this process, and there will be more money that comes along later. But with that, this effort is long overdue. It's critically necessary. And again, Mr. Secretary, I commend your effort and your ongoing process, and also to supercharging the air traffic control recruitment system, which we worked on in the last FAA bill. But I look forward to working with you and all the stakeholders out there to get this thing done right away, by the way. So thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Secretary Duffy, for inviting me here today, and I want to thank you for the hard work that you put in to get us here today. I do want to start as well by recognizing the families of the January 29th DCA midair collision as well. The pain that you're going through is an instigator for all of us to get things right as we move forward on aviation safety. Last year, my colleagues and I came together to draft, and eventually Congress passed, an overwhelmingly bipartisan 2024 FAA reauthorization law, a law that established the to-do list for ATC modernization. So we provided the what-to-do list, and I'm really pleased to see Secretary Duffy and the administration moving forward on the how to get it done list, and leading these critical next steps. We've talked about how this effort sometimes spans administrations. We don't want the effort to span generations. We need to get moving on this sooner rather than later, including any new investments and policy reforms that build on the law to modernize the nation's ATC infrastructure and growing as well the aviation safety workforce. In the wake of the tragic mid-air collision over the Potomac and a trend of runway near misses, we have to get this right. Now, there are going to be a lot of proposals to the proposal when it comes out, I'm sure, but Secretary Duffy can look forward to my T&I colleagues in Congress with Sam and me working to formally review that process and getting to a point to make it work. And T&I Democrats will be ready to stand with you, Sean, to improve the safety of U.S. aviation. Thank you very much for having me here. Appreciate it.
As these two gentlemen who sit on different sides of the aisle would acknowledge, this is not politics. This is America. It's an American mission, and I am pleased to introduce someone who I got to know way better than I would have. Well, I would have liked to get to know you well, but we spent a lot of time together, and I don't think we've had a better head of the NTSB than Jennifer Hamady, who's looking out for safety, giving ideas on how we can make our system safer across all modes. And so I'm pleased that she's here with us today. Chair of the NTSB, Jennifer Hamady.
Well, thank you very much. I have to say that the Secretary's commitment to safety is real. He started saying that this is bold, but I have to tell you it is absolutely necessary to ensure safety in our skies. So I do want to thank you, Secretary, for inviting me here today. I also want to thank members of Congress, certainly the families. Thank you for being here. And again, our thoughts and prayers are with each of you and many others, our partners in safety. Without your commitment to aviation safety and support of the NTSB, we couldn't do what we do every single day. Certainly all of you are champions for safety, and I see many of you out here today, so thank you for what you do. The NTSB, as you know, can't mandate change. We can't mandate change. We can only make recommendations to improve safety. That's why we need strong partnerships, strong relationships with committed safety partners. That includes the President of the United States, President Trump, Vice President Vance, who I had the honor to work with after a terrible train derailment and tragedy in East Palestine, Ohio. I saw his commitment to safety up front and personal, and I want to thank him and certainly the Secretary and the hardworking men and women here at the Department of Transportation and at the FAA. Now, there's a question I'm often asked, and that's what keeps you up at night? The answer is always the same. It's the next family I'll meet who've lost a loved one on what I can only imagine is the worst day of their lives. And it's the conversations that I have with our investigators on scene about how that tragedy could have, should have been prevented had one of our safety recommendations been implemented. The NTSB has safety recommendations to invest in ATC going back almost 3 decades that we've had to reiterate again and again, most recently following the near misses at JFK and Austin. In Austin alone, and I didn't tell this to the Secretary, he wasn't here yet, we had our final investigative board meeting last June on Austin. We had found that the weather personnel in the tower were in a room that was the old smoking room. They had no windows, the weather personnel had no windows, no cell phone service. They had to go outside to move their cell phone to get service, and they had no access to the internet or FAA intranet that they had been asking for over a year. And ATC didn't have ASDX. All of that is just, to us, unbelievable and unacceptable. In February, I traveled to Alaska following a fatal accident near Nome. I met with pilots who highlighted ongoing safety concerns, including repeated outages of AWOS that sometimes go months without a fix, and gaps in pilot reporting of poor weather, which is something that we're looking into as part of that investigation. And as chairwoman, I've continuously highlighted the need for real infrastructure investments in ATC and in technology that will give our nation's air traffic controllers the tools they need to ensure safety in our skies. I welcome today's announcement. The fact is, an aging system poses an untenable risk to safety. I said it after DCA, I'm going to say it now. An untenable risk to safety. And I am hopeful that the vital investments that we're talking about today will not only bring us closer to implementing NTSB's safety recommendations, but achieving our ultimate goal of zero aviation deaths. It's a goal I know that all of us share. No one entity, though, can do it alone. To save lives, it'll take every single stakeholder at all levels doing their part. And lastly, I think it's important that we recognize this is Public Service Recognition Week. So I want to thank the public servants who keep the national airspace operational 24/7, including over 14,000 hardworking air traffic controllers, 14,000 today, but thanks to Secretary Duffy, growing. So I hope that'll be even more in the future. So it's an honor to fight alongside each of you to improve safety, and thank you for this opportunity to join you today.
Jennifer Mohammadi, she's a great partner. Again, I think she lives, breathes, sleeps safety, and she has been a partner who's been fantastic for all of us. So thank you for that. Now, listen, as I mentioned, we have 55 stakeholders, groups that are here today. Again, from different philosophies, different walks of life, but this group that believes that this mission is critical, that it's good for them, good for Americans, good for America. And this coalition would not have come together the way it has without the Airlines for America President and CEO Nick Callio. Nick, if you would come on up and talk to our group. Nick has been a force to be reckoned with. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. It is truly an honor to be here. Thank the families for being here. Sorry for your loss. Anyway, Airlines for America is the trade association for all the major passenger and cargo carriers in this country. The fact that 5 of our carrier CEOs are here today is a testament to the historic magnitude of what's being undertaken. This is an exciting day for all of us in this industry. I want to thank Secretary Duffy for presenting a plan that begins to address a decades-long problem and the manner in which he's attempting to do it, because we've seen failure in the past. This one will not. It's been pointed out air travel is the safest mode of transportation in this country. No question about it. But for it to remain that way, we need major investments now and all at once. We can't kick the can down the road again. We need to do it now, and that's what's being proposed. Back in February, President Trump vowed that we're going to have the best system. So thank you, President Trump and Secretary Duffy, for delivering solutions, not just more talk. Solutions. Promises made, promises kept. Okay, so I've been holding up floppy disks and paper strips for about 9 years now. And I wasn't going to bring them, but yesterday the Secretary encouraged me to bring them along, so here they are. People can never believe this. But here's the good news. What's happening here today is going to put these things out of business for good. We are deeply appreciative of your bold leadership, and I was going to address Chairman Graves and Ranking Member Larson, Senator Cruz, and Senator Moran, all of whom are stalwart aviation supporters. I do want to deliver a message. What Chairman Graves did in that committee to get that $12.5 billion was remarkable. He's a results getter, and I was going to encourage Senators Cruz and Moran that they need to expand on that work and find more money. But we've been saying that to them already. We continue to. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's to finally get something done to stop the deterioration of our airspace system. That's why today, and the Secretary's alluded to it, we're announcing a new coalition, the Modern Skies Coalition, which is comprised of over 50 organizations of all types: airports, manufacturers, labor, general aviation, airlines, commercial space, and others. We have never seen anything bring this level of unity to that community since I've been around, and much longer. And the reason is because everybody wants to seize on this opportunity. As the Secretary pointed out, this group often has our differences, but we're glued together here. We are laser focused on making this proposal a reality. And we're going to work together to bring a spotlight on it. The coalition has already released its statement as of a short time ago. There will be, I believe, a reference to a website that I think you'll find extremely informative. So in conclusion, I want to say that earlier this week, the Secretary said, we all fly, our families fly, so let's get it done. We could not agree with you more. I have 4 grandchildren with a 5th on the way, and I want them to grow up with the same confidence in the system that we have all been able to have. So thank you very much. Thank you.
So Nick makes a good point, and this is it's kind of funny, but it's not funny at all. Again, the controllers pass these strips of paper from one to the next as they're passing off control of an aircraft. This should be digitized. A lot of kids don't know what these are. They're floppy disks, but they don't know, what's a floppy disk? Quick note, when systems go down in the equipment that you see up here, we don't call the manufacturer to buy replacement parts for this equipment. Do you know where we go? eBay. We shop on eBay to replace parts to fix our equipment in the system that keeps you safe, keeps your family safe. And to Nick's point, that is 100% unacceptable, especially for the greatest country that's ever existed on the face of the earth. We deserve better than that. And Nick, again, I'm so grateful for your leadership, putting this coalition together of people who are going to rally around this effort. It's now my honor to bring up the people that, we maybe not know the people, but we know their companies very, very well because we fly on them, sometimes once a year. Some of you fly probably once a week, but I'd like to welcome up to the stage the United CEO, Scott Kirby, American Airlines CEO, Robert Isom, Delta CEO, Ed Bastian, JetBlue CEO, Joanna Garrity, and Southwest CEO, Bob Jordan. All of them all of them are ferocious competitors. They compete on a daily basis, flight by flight basis. They all compete against each other. And they're all here today because they share one mission, that they want to make sure our skies are safe. And so with that, Scott, if I can turn over to you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. To the families, we're honored that you would join us here today, and thank you, everyone else. This really is an historic day, a day I have been looking forward to my entire career, when I felt like we have turned the corner and are on the path to give the United States the best-in-class air traffic control system that the citizens of the United States deserve. But I'm going to take some of my time today to also, I want to thank all of the people in the entire aviation profession who keep us safe right now. Everyone at the air traffic controllers, everyone that works at the FAA, every pilot that works for all of us, every flight attendant, every aircraft technician, all the people that work on the ground. This is an industry that has safety in its core, and in its DNA. Every single person, the hundreds of thousands of people that work in aviation, believe in safety and put it first. And that's what makes aviation, even though we sometimes have to deal with these systems, we build backups and backups to backups. What happened in Newark this week was a perfect example. Disappointing that it happened, but when it did, the backup systems kick in place and everyone does what they're supposed to do to keep the airspace still safe. It creates diversions, it creates delays, it creates disruptions for customers, and that's what we want to solve. But we do the people of aviation do an amazing job keeping the system safe. So I mostly today want to say thank you to all the people that keep us safe and keep our families safe, and also on their behalf say thank you to the Secretary for giving them the systems and the support that they may need to make the system the best in the world and even safer. I think it's now up to me to introduce my friend, co-worker, partner for many years, now competitor, the CEO of American Airlines, Robert Isom.
Thanks, Scott. It's an honor to be here. And it's a truly historic day. And I'd like to as well start with recognizing the families of 5342. We mourn with you, and we're going to be with you now and for the long run. We've established the Office of Continued Care and Outreach to support you, and you have my commitment that we will be with you over the long run. This accident should never have happened. I thank you for being here, because it is using this moment to really do great things going forward. I've been in the airline business a long time, and that entire time I've known that the U.S. air traffic control system was operating on antiquated technology. And this plan from President Trump and Secretary Duffy is absolutely the best opportunity that we've had in decades to do something about our outdated air traffic control infrastructure and build a best-in-class system that our country deserves. And it will make aviation more safe and also much more capable for this critical aspect of infrastructure long into the future. I commend President Trump and Secretary Duffy, the entire FAA leadership. They've treated airspace challenges with the urgency that it requires right now. We're taking quick and decisive action, and it's not just with this plan, but it's also in the wake of 5342 to address helicopter traffic in DCA and throughout the country as well. So American operates more flights, employs more people than any other airline. In our network, our customers, our team members, and all of us in this industry, we need a more robust and modern air traffic control system to get people where they want to go safely and on time. This plan will result in a better, safer, more efficient system for everyone involved. Travelers, the airlines, workers, the FAA, everyone. And that's why the entire airline industry, travel industries, all of our partners have coalesced and to get behind this effort. We stand ready to work with the President, Secretary Duffy, the FAA, our allies on Capitol Hill to get this plan, to get this program across the finish line. Thank you very much. Thanks, Scott. And Ed, I'll hand it off to you.
Well, thank you, Robert, and I'd like to thank you. I want to especially thank Secretary Duffy and the administration for gathering us all here today and taking such a strong approach to overhauling our air traffic control system in the U.S. This has been a long time in coming, decades, in fact. I'd also like to pay my thanks to the families for being here. It means a lot to us that you are joining us on this endeavor. Delta is celebrating our 100th year this year, and while we as an airline continue our century-long legacy of innovation, dedication, and excellence, that has not been the case when it comes to our nation's air traffic control systems. This week, you've all seen the fallout from the situation at Newark Airport, but we all know this kind of disruption due to a lack of controllers and an antiquated system is something we all face on a regular basis. Just 2 years ago, you may all remember in January of 23, there was a NOTAM outage, which caused the first nationwide ground stop since September 11th. And during that time, at Delta, we had to cancel nearly 150 flights, affecting thousands of our loyal customers. ATC facilities overseeing our LaGuardia and JFK hubs have over the years experienced material equipment faults and failures and staffing challenges. To this day, we are not able to fly the schedule that we'd like or that our customers expect. As a result, last month alone, Delta's delay minutes due to FAA staffing were up 106% year over year. Over the past decade, Delta has invested billions of dollars in our LaGuardia and JFK hubs. LaGuardia has since gone from the worst airport in the country to one of the absolute best. But the ongoing ATC constraints in the New York airspace continue to hold us back operationally. Airlines plan their network and schedules based on customer needs and the assumption of FAA equipment running correctly. It's disruptive when outages and equipment failures occur without notice, as only a few minutes of downtime can ripple into a large-scale customer impact event. Nothing is more important than safety, absolutely nothing. And while we regularly work with ATC and our industry partners to help find solutions to minimize delays and cancellations, particularly in the New York airspace, we'll never compromise on safety or operate into airspace or airports unless they're absolutely safe to do so. If that means reducing capacity in and out of certain areas or taking down flights, that's what we'll continue to have to do. None of this serves the traveling public in the way we'd like. It's hard to believe, and frankly unacceptable, that many of the systems our air traffic controllers rely on today are more than 60 years old. It's past time that we change that. So it's an honor to be here today among so many of our industry partners while getting a first look at what the Secretary has put forward. Fixing our antiquated air traffic control systems while working to get more controllers into the pipeline is a unique and once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the aviation industry, for Congress, and this administration to come together and take our country's national airspace to new heights through investment and innovation. And I'm proud to be a part of it. Thank you. And with that, I'd like to introduce Joanna Garrity, the CEO of JetBlue.
Thank you, Secretary Duffy and FAA Administrator Ruccolo, for your hard work bringing us all to this point. I also want to recognize the families. Thank you for being here. It should not take a tragedy to solve this problem. We very much appreciate the leadership that you are bringing to this ATC modernization effort. As the only airline that is headquartered and based in New York City, we know air traffic control delays and challenges far, far too well. This has quite literally been our #1 priority for decades. I am proud to stand here today with what appears to be a solution and a path to move forward. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. JetBlue is here to do our part. Let's get this done.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bob Jordan with Southwest Airlines, and I also want to say a huge thanks to the families. I know it takes courage to be here, and we're going to get this done for you. I commit to that. But you've heard from a lot of folks, so I will be brief. And as you can tell by the unprecedented groundswell of support here. There is widespread agreement that we have a problem, that we have a need, and that we need to find a solution. I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that's here today. It's just, it's wonderful that there's such a cross-section of the aviation industry and our partners to support this very needed change. We have folks from across the industry. We have manufacturers. We have our labor folks, SWAPA, the IAM, TWU, IBT. I've just never seen this level of coming together to address a problem, and it's very gratifying. For the airlines, I can assure you that we compete very vigorously, but we do not compete on safety. We have the world's safest aviation system, the world's safest, and we need to keep it that way, but we also need to have the world's most efficient and modern air traffic control system. You deserve that, and the American people deserve that. Last, I just cannot thank you enough, cannot say enough thanks to Secretary Duffy, to the administration, to President Trump for the stellar leadership to bring everyone together on this problem. This challenge is decades old, as you can tell by the equipment in front of us, but I'm absolutely confident that we can get this done and that we are finally going to address the real problem. It will take all of us. It'll take the money. It'll take the effort. It'll take a lot of will to get this done, but we will and we can get it done, and we will do it for the American people. Thank you all very much.
Thank you all for being here and your commitment to helping us get this across the finish line. Again, it's going to be all of us working together. I would now like to introduce our Modern Skies Coalition. This is the aviation, and you guys all want to come on up now, you can. This is the aviation industry. This is unions. This is a wide berth of people who have an interest in aviation, and they believe that this effort today, this movement today is going to deliver on behalf of the American people. And so, do we? Senator Cruz. Oh, there's Senator Cruz. Well, I guess I was like, why isn't anyone coming out? All right. So Senator Cruz, by the way, he had a vote, he had a job to do, but I'm grateful he has offered such fantastic leadership in the Senate. And again, it's bipartisan. He and Senator Cantwell worked together to think through these problems and how we can fund it. And I'm so honored that after votes, he made time to come here. Let's give a great welcome to one of Texas, the Texas probably finest, Senator Ted Cruz.
Well, thank you very much. It is terrific to be here. It is an honor to be here. I want to start by acknowledging the family members of the victims of American Airlines Flight 5342 who are here today. I want to thank you for your continued advocacy, for turning pain and anguish into making a lasting difference, into fighting to save the lives of somebody else's family. And it is my solemn promise that your tragedy will not be in vain, that the horror that unfolded in the skies of D.C., I believe, will prompt us to come together and cut through the inertia and finally improve airspace safety so we can fully protect the flying public. I want to thank Secretary Duffy for the terrific job he's doing. Thank President Trump for his strong leadership taking on the need to modernize air traffic control finally. I'll say to Secretary Duffy, one day on the job, when horrifically you were confronted with the worst aviation accident in decades. And I will say the Secretary has spent his time and energy and passion fighting to make sure no other families experience that tragedy. Today's announcement, I believe, is a major step in reversing the deterioration of safety in the U.S. airspace. As chairman of the Senate Commerce Committee, I will work to give the Department of Transportation the resources needed to improve today's infrastructure, to improve the technology you see in front of us, much of which seems like it was assembled at a Radio Shack 50 years ago. But all of us know that money alone isn't a cure for all that ails the FAA. We need to ensure that there is a committed long-term focus to fixing and to upgrading technology, to streamlining and simplifying procurement, to bolstering the workforce, and to making it easier and safer to bring new tech, whether delivery drones or air taxis, into the U.S. airspace system. Thank you again to Secretary Duffy. Thank you to all of the leaders who are here today, and it's a privilege to be with you.
Did he say he's going to commit to find the money to make this happen? Just to make sure I got that. I know that Senator Cruz has been fantastic on this issue. Thank you for being here. The Congress has a lot of fights over money. This is one they should not fight over. This is one that is meaningful and one that matters. And as I was mentioning before, we do have a fantastic coalition. If you all want to come on up, the Modern Skies Coalition, a wide array of unions and industry and manufacturers all coming together to support this effort. I want to start it off with Jason Ambrosi, who is the Airline Pilots Association president, to address the group, and then we're going to go through and let everyone talk about their support and priority in this build. Jason.
Good afternoon. My name is Captain Jason Ambrosi. I am the president of the Airline Pilots Association International, representing nearly 80,000 pilots in the United States and Canada. ALPA is the largest non-governmental aviation safety organization and largest pilots union in the world. I'd also like to acknowledge the families and thank you for being here. ALPA lost two brothers in that tragedy in DCA, Captain Campos and First Officer Lilly, and our hearts are with you. Thank you, Secretary Duffy, for your leadership in taking decisive action to modernize our air traffic control system and improving the safety of our skies. I applaud this administration's commitment to upgrading these critical systems to ensure that America remains the world leader in aviation safety. With the tragedy of Flight 5342 just a few miles from here, and with every close call, it is clear that our aging system needs to be modernized. We need investments, not just to maintain the system and keep it working, but to strengthen safety and operational security for years to come. Pilots and air traffic controllers work together for the safety of every flight, and for far too long, our colleagues at NATCA in the control towers and in the terminal approach control facilities and in the air route traffic control centers have faced a concerning underinvestment in the infrastructure and systems they rely on. As the primary users of our shared national airspace system, operating more than 40,000 flights per day, carrying 3 million passengers and millions of pounds of cargo, we applaud this plan and the administration's FAA budget request, which funds the FAA Technology and Facilities account higher than ever before. After decades of federal budgets failing to keep pace with inflation, the system requires both robust budget requests and immediate infusion of emergency resources. We commend Chair Graves' critical first step in advancing $12.5 billion last week in funding for this long overdue initiative. The staffing and technology challenges facing our system did not appear overnight and will require strong bipartisan leadership and accountability to maximize these investments, which is why I'm pleased Senators Cruz, Moran, Chair Graves, and Ranking Member Larson were here with us today. This endeavor is going to take commitment from all of us. As dedicated aviation safety professionals who depend on these systems, we appreciate Secretary Duffy making our nation's air traffic control system a priority. We look forward to lending our unique operational expertise as we work with the administration and a bipartisan Congress to bring this vision to fruition. Thank you again, Secretary Duffy, for your leadership in modernizing our air traffic control system and prioritizing aviation safety. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Good afternoon. My name is Robin Hayes. I'm the Chairman and CEO of Airbus in the Americas. I'd like to start by paying tribute to the families of those lost on Flight 5342. Your loss is an inspiration for all of us to get this done. I'd like to offer our congratulations to the President, the Secretary, the Administrator, and more importantly, all of those at DOT and FAA on this announcement. This is a historic opportunity to fix decades of neglect and underinvestment in our air traffic control system, create a more modern, safer, and efficient system. Here at Airbus, our commitment to aviation safety is critical, and we are very happy to support and get behind this initiative. We've seen the significant investment manufacturers and airlines have made in aviation, investing hundreds of billions of dollars over the last decades, and it is now great to see ATC getting the same investment and upgrade. It will be a safer system for people who fly it, it will mean less delays, and it will allow our airlines to operate more efficiently. It will also allow the FAA to address the needs of the airspace as it gets more complicated. And lastly, I just want to finish by thanking everyone who works in that industry, who makes this system work every day, especially the air traffic controllers who have worked for many, many years and suffered from this lack of investment and lack of staffing. And I'm so incredibly grateful that we will be fixing this for them. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Darren Pleasance. I am the President and CEO of the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association. I'd like to, first of all, express my thank you to the Secretary for his leadership in this really important initiative, and of course express my thanks to the families who are here with us today. I have the privilege of leading an organization of over 300,000 members that represent the pilots around the country who operate in the world of general aviation. This includes medevac pilots, it includes all of the pilots who fly firefighting aircraft that we see operating across the country every year, including most recently in Los Angeles. It includes the flight instructors who are training the future airline pilots this very day, and many others who enjoy the amazing airspace system that we have in the United States. Without a doubt, as was said earlier, we have the safest aviation system in the world, and it has never been safer. Right? But that doesn't mean that it can't be safer, and it's not as safe as it can be. And we owe it all to all of us who utilize this national airspace system to make it as safe as it can be and to invest in the technology it requires to achieve that. I fly my own airplane about every week, and I also travel on commercial airlines about every week. And so this topic of safety could not be more near and dear to me and to the families that all of us rely on that choose to use the airspace system. I also appreciate the efforts being put forth by Secretary Duffy to hire and train more air traffic controllers. Right? This is very, very much needed. Today's controllers do an amazing job with the antiquated technology that they all rely on. The traveling public and those who fly in the nation's air traffic system need and deserve the best and most modern technologies available. We look forward to working with Secretary Duffy, the Trump administration, our partners at the FAA, and our partners in the aviation industry to see this improvement in the airspace system done once and for all. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Todd Hopley with the American Association of Airport Executives. The technology that we use to track our teenagers is more advanced than what we give to our air traffic controllers. That is literally insane. We need to fix that. We need better technology. We need better facilities. And we need more controllers. It is as complicated as that and as simple as that. It's something we can fix, it's something we should fix, and it's something we will fix. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm James Viola. I'm the President and CEO of the General Aviation Manufacturers Association. And I want to thank the families also for driving this needed innovation with this equipment. I represent the general aviation manufacturers of all aircraft, helicopter, electronics, the dashboard, the stuff that's available inside, and we know what technology is available, and it's been available for over 15 years. So having this opportunity, I'd like to thank the Secretary for being able to do this today, and glad to be on the team as we move forward, because we also have to think about the future with the AAM vehicles, the eVTOLs. So right now we are delaying flights, we're blocking helicopters from airspace, but we want to get the airspace open for these new vehicles. So as we represent airplanes and helicopters, we need to make sure the new technology will allow what society needs, which is safe air transportability. So thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Dean Iacopelli, and I have the honor of representing this nation's air traffic controllers on behalf of the National Air Traffic Controllers Association. I also would like to thank Secretary Duffy for his leadership. And before I begin, I do want to speak to the families of Flight 5342 and let you know that the entire aviation community, the air traffic controllers, mourns with all of you for your loss. And as the president of NACA, Nick Daniels, has said repeatedly, tragedy without action does not honor the memory of those we lost. And today marks a pivotal step forward in the future of aviation safety. NACA stands in strong support of Secretary Duffy's bold and much-needed plan to modernize our nation's air traffic control system. For decades, NACA has called for modernization, and it's past time to move forward. As the events of about a week ago at Newark highlight two things. One, we need to modernize the equipment. And two, air traffic controllers do what they do best, and they save the day. They are always our last resort, and we're proud of the work that the short-staffed air traffic controllers in Area C at Philadelphia who handled the Newark airspace accomplished that day. Last week, the Secretary announced our recruitment and retention agreement intended to help supercharge the hiring of much-needed air traffic controllers and the retention of our experienced air traffic controllers to continue to keep the skies safe. Secretary Duffy's comprehensive initiative focused on modernizing outdated technology and replacing and repairing aging facilities, coupled with his commitment to aggressively address the air traffic control shortage, reflects the kind of leadership and long-term vision the national airspace system urgently needs. It's the right vision, and now is the right time. We thank the Secretary and the administration for taking a proactive approach to addressing these challenges. We are fully committed to working closely with Secretary Duffy, the Department of Transportation, the FAA, and all stakeholders to ensure that this effort includes the involvement and expertise of the dedicated professionals who run this system 24/7, our nation's air traffic controllers, technicians, and other aviation safety professionals. This initiative is laying the foundation for a safer, more modern aviation system, an air traffic control system America deserves and can be proud of. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Ed Bolin, President and CEO of the National Business Aviation Association. And like so many others, I want to begin today by extending our condolences to the families who are here with us today, and to underscore that we intend to honor that legacy with action and American ingenuity and innovation. Today you see before you the entirety of the aviation community. And I don't think this community has ever been as united or focused or determined, at least since the creation of the Airport and Airways Trust Fund in 1970. What we have being presented today is a plan that is unique in its scope, its specificity, and its accountability. We know from what has been discussed that this will be a significant investment in people, facilities, and equipment. We're going to have not just the best air traffic controllers, but we're going to have a sufficient number to be able to foster a new era in aviation. One that fosters and enhances safety, efficiency. It's going to be large. It may be complex. It will have the ability to respond to the dynamics that are inherent in these types of systems. We're going to enhance our bandwidth, our connectivity. We're going to enhance situational awareness. We're going to build on a foundation, and we're going to lead in a distinctly American way. The U.S. has been the leader in all aspects of aviation since the Wright brothers flew at Kitty Hawk. Today, we commit ourselves to continuing to be the largest, the safest, and the best air transportation system in the world. Thank you.
Good afternoon and thank you. My name is Faye Malarkey-Black and I'm the CEO of the Regional Airline Association. And I want to thank you, Secretary Duffy and Acting Administrator Rochelot, for your strong leadership in highlighting the current ATC system's failings and proposing these meaningful, transformative investments to address its unacceptable level of risk. I'd also like to thank and acknowledge the $12.5 billion investment approved by the House T&I Committee last week. Under Chairman Graves' leadership, that proposal represents an essential down payment to modernization. But today's proposal is critical for ensuring and improving the long-term safety and efficiency of the national airspace system. I'm here today representing the smaller airlines, but our footprint is vast. Regional airlines operate in 95% of the country's airports. We operate in more airports and more airspace than any other segment of the industry. And because we operate and provide the only source of commercial air service to 2/3 of the nation, they see the inadequacies of the AT system now firsthand. ATC failings have forced the FAA to reduce capacity in large airports, and that's done to keep our skies safe. But that drawdown of air service, it's disproportionately harming regional air service, and that's disproportionately hurting smaller communities, rural communities, where that air service is not just a means of connectivity, but is a critical economic lifeline. Further, many small airports lack basic technology like radar to aid controllers working in the airports. Basic ATC investments like radar can make all the difference, and they shouldn't be just at large airports. It should be consistent through the entire system. And that's why we are particularly pleased to see this proposal has a strong safety focus at the smaller airports too, with surface awareness initiatives, new radars and towers. Thank you. We strongly support this plan, and we look forward to working together with you, Mr. Secretary, Administrator Rochelot, the White House, and Congress to get this done. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Chris Raymond. I'm the CEO of Boeing's Global Services business. I'd like to start by acknowledging the families. This industry mourns any aviation loss. It energizes us. We share data, we share information to learn from it and get better. So we honor their loss and we pray with you, and it dedicates us to getting better. I'd just like to thank Secretary Duffy for the vision and the fortitude to bring this together, the administration, the Congress, the industry that's going to work together to make it a reality. I can assure you that modernizing the United States' national airspace system is a critical enabler to so much more. Since 1915, in the establishment of the National Advisory Committee on Aeronautics, this nation has led in aviation. We know this industry connects, it protects, it provides. You think about people and continents. You think about national defense. You think about humanitarian relief and peacekeeping operations around the world. And you think about, yes, global trade, global commerce, and the jobs, the well-paying jobs that it provides. None of this is possible for us to continue without the nation's airspace system and a safe air traffic control system. We commit ourselves to modernizing it and continuing to lead. We appreciate the administration's vision and courage to take it on, and we know that we all need it to continue to enjoy the societal benefits that every one of us enjoys from aviation. We're honored to be part of this coalition. We commit to bringing any experience that we have in air traffic management around the world to this effort, and we look forward to the day that we'll be celebrating the world's best, safest, most secure, highest capacity national air system in the world. Thank you very much.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the support of all the industry. And I just want to take a moment as we're about to close to recap for you. You've all heard we do, as NATCA mentioned, Dean, that we're 3,000 air traffic controllers short. And we've been 3,000 air traffic controllers short, I think, for over a decade. It's time we do something about it. And the plan we've come up with, it's not simple. These are not easy solutions to the problems that exist, but we're thinking creatively on how we can supercharge air traffic control. We're bringing more young people into the academy, and we've partnered with NATCA to ask the experienced air traffic controllers to stay longer past their date of retirement. Those two things together can slowly bring us to a place where we have all the air traffic controllers that we need. And the simple message from today on what we're announcing, the system we have here, it's not worth saving. I don't need to preserve any of this. It's too old. You got a 1967 Volkswagen Beetle that you're using for transportation. I don't want to preserve the Beetle. I actually want to build a brand new car. So we're going to build a brand new car. It's a brand new system. We want to rip this out. We want this truly in the Smithsonian. We don't want to use this equipment. And words are cheap, right? The plan, it was hard for the FAA. They helped put this together, and I'm grateful for that. It was hard, but it's also cheap. Even the work of Congress is not that hard. What we are going to do when we get the money, we have the plan, we actually have to build a brand new state-of-the-art air traffic control system as we ask NATCA to keep our airplanes flying in the air, taking off, landing. That's complicated, but we are America. We've let this go far too long. We are going to stand up, we are going to stand together, and as one great country, we are going to build a brand new system that is worthy again of the greatest country that has ever existed on the face of the earth. I am so grateful for the 55 coalition members who are standing with the FAA and the DOT. I'm grateful for President Trump. And now let's get the money, let's get to work, and let's make air travel in America great again. Thank you all.